Hello and welcome to HyzerMedia's coverage of the 2023 Norse Gods Championship presented by Home Again. Thank you, as always, to our sponsors, Cosmic Disc Golf, D-Town Disc Golf, and Reaper Disc Supply. I'm Nathan Johnson, joined in the virtual booth by Dylan Horst. How's it going, Dylan?
Hey, it's another day. Happy to be here. Let's watch some great disc golf. First on the card, we have Matt Rosier from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Then we have Travis Dombach from Willow Street, Pennsylvania. Vinny Montanari from New Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And rounding out the card, Lucas Oberholtzer Hess from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And here we are, hole 1, par 4. We're playing Shiprock. Today we were playing the longs. Par 4. First shot is to throw a long hyzer either through the gap that the drone is flying through, kind of an inside gap, or you can go around the outside. As soon as your disc lands, basically play almost the same shot going in.
Gifford Pinchot Classic champion, MA1. Man behind.
And MPO last year.
Awesome, man.
All right.
The man behind the Pittsburgh Flying Disc Golf Open now. Give it up for Matt Rosier.
Yeah, should be exciting to watch Matt. Like Eric said, Pittsburgh guy, made the trek over to Eastern Pennsylvania for this tournament. Super smooth player. Should be good to watch.
Yeah, seeing him trying to, it seems like go around the outside. You do have to watch out. There is a cornfield as you get farther around the outside, which, you know, kind of make your footing obstruct.
Gentleman who designed this course. Two-time Coyote Howler champion, President, Lancaster County Disc Golf Club. Put your hands together, Travis Dombach.
Good, Travis.
Plenty of accolades for Travis. Of course, the Lancaster County guy. It'll be great to watch him shred his home course. Like Eric said, he designed it himself.
Looks like Travis here is going to inside gap. It's going to test a bunch of the trees coming in.
Thank you.
Seems like he
Third
filtered
off the
through.
tee, coming down from New Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Picked up a B-tier win this year, Indiana Open at IUP. Put your hands together for Vinny Montanari.
I've actually never played with Vinny before, so it'll be good. Good and exciting to watch him play. Lefty on the card always is fun to watch. Some different lines being thrown.
Yeah, seems like a lot of power with the sidearm. Straight hyzer. Seems like it clips something coming in, but should have a pretty obstructed
Last
second
off
shot
the
too.
tee, your reigning Norse Gods champion. He is probably as much responsible for my success as I am. Plays in my events, always supports me. Put your hands together for Lucas Oberholtzer Hess.
Man, the kid needs no introduction, right? He throws a mile. If you've watched any HyzerMedia tournament ever, you've probably seen him. It'll be very exciting, as always, to watch Lucas just absolutely shred this course.
Yeah, and I remember last year, I think he threw Justice high over the trees on the inside gap. So it'll be interesting to see what he does this year.
Plays it a little safer. Looks like he's just going out and around, just looking to put something in the fairway. Yeah, like you said, that long corn can come into play, but Lucas has plenty of room to spare. It's a nice shot.
Yep, and then here we have Matt kind of pushing the boundary on the backside. Might have an abbreviated run up. Seems like a full run up. Swung it a little wide, but it'll be a nice open putt. It's a free run because the basket's on an upslope, so he could run it as hard as he wants, and kind of no repercussion.
Yeah, kind of a nice hole to get you started on your day. You know, this tee shot's pretty open. You can kind of just put one out there. Hopefully, don't get an unlucky break and catch something late. Just 2 backhand hyzers for most folks. This looks really nice from Lucas. Comes in a bit short, but I'll leave him circle's edge putt for the birdie.
Yeah, definitely not the putt you want right off the bat, but definitely one that can build confidence. And here we have Vinny. Little obstructed, but seems like he got himself at least within circle 2 to give himself an opportunity to kind of snag that birdie early off.
Yeah, and Travis with a perfect tee shot. He's just got a little chip into the green, probably 250 feet or even less than that. Leaks a little long there, so we're gonna have some tester putts here on hole 1 for our lead card. Or feature card, I should say. Starting off with Matt here. He's probably in deep circle 2. Ooh, good effort. A little low.
It's a great bid. Let's see. Vinny, probably about circle 2. Oh, definitely outside circle 2. Oh, just the same. Gave it a good bid, just not quite enough juice.
Yeah, catches the cage. Good efforts from both of those guys. Definitely at least 60 feet out there in the field. Here's Lucas, probably about 25-footer to start off his round. Hearts it. That is a nice confidence built booster to get things going in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely nice to start off with. You know, kind of a middle range putt to kind of get your round going. One that you feel very confident with, but one that can kind of set the tone for the round. Travis is kind of here with the same thing. A little bit of a straddle, right in the heart. Perfect.
And I see the wind kind of picking up there too for his putt with those branches in the background. Moving around, yeah, I mean, it's a common theme at Shiprock, right? A big open course in the rolling hills of Lancaster County. You're going to get quite a bit. It's rare to find a calm day at Shiprock, I will say.
Agree. We're going to go up the hill to hole 2. Be sure to subscribe. Here we are, hole 2, par 3, 302 feet. The gap that the drone is flying through is the main gap. You do have to watch out for the water in the background. Elevation drops probably about 20, 30 feet. So you really don't need to give it that much power. Throw something straight outside the gap, have it fade right, or if you want to throw the turnover, just throw something with just enough touch and watch the glide on it so it doesn't go in the water long.
Yeah, backhand is really touchy. I would be surprised as Travis almost gives that an ace run, parks it. Yeah, the forehand is the play here just because of, you need the disc to push straight to get through the gap and then just a little fade to the right over towards the basket. See if Lucas can kind of match that line that Travis went with. Really nicely done.
Yeah, perfect. And able to throw something slow, so it just kind of goes straight out of the gap and then just fades out right next to the basket. And here we have Matt. He's probably going to be throwing a lot of thumbers. I don't think he has much of a forehand, or at least doesn't trust it as much, but he definitely relies heavily on the thumber. Clip something coming out of the gap, so unfortunate here, but be looking forward to a bunch of thumbers.
Definitely will be exciting to watch. Vinny, just a classic lefty backhand hyzer here. Hits the gap nicely. That'll leave him a short birdie putt coming up.
I agree with Matt. Stupid lefty holes. Or forehands. As he gives it a nice little bid. Yeah, just a little short, but not mad with a 3. At least he got outside of the gap.
Yeah, the first 2 holes at Shiprock, you'd like to at least be 1 under through 2 most of the time. They're not bonus birdies per se, but definitely both very gettable holes. Like to give yourself a birdie putt at least. Lucas and Travis doing a nice job to pick up both of them, and Vinny's able to get himself on the board here as well with a birdie on hole 2, because you'd like to be under par going into hole 3, because that can be not a fun time depending on where your drive ends up.
Since 2021, Homagan Disc Golf has been committed to bringing the highest quality discs, apparel, and accessories to players on and off the course. No matter where you are, when you're on the course, you're home again.
Hole 3, par 3, 268 feet. Essentially the line that we were going down, the elevation, now we're going right back up. We are in the long tee pad off to the left, so it is very technical. Now there's a hyzer flip on the left-hand side, and then there's a strong hyzer on the right. I guess we'll see which line Travis decided to take, but it's a very, very technical shot with a lot of potential for a roll away.
This looks pretty good. He did a good, nice job to hit the gap, kind of overturns it a bit, ends up towards the bottom of that hill there. But really nice shot. I mean, the left gap, I think, is the pure line to get to the basket. The right gap, you kind of have to get a little lucky through some of those trees. But that left gap is very punishing if you catch an early tree.
Lucas here going the right gap. Seems like it was a little inside. Needs to just sit down. Unfortunate to roll back probably about 40 feet. But at least he stayed up on the hill. It should be kind of a technical upshot, but he can make it work. And then Vinny here, unfortunately, misses the inside gap on the left-hand side. Banks off the tree and kicks it left. To the rough.
Yeah, that short left rough is thick, especially this time of the year in the summer. Shiprock really grows out, and a lot of those gaps tend to shrink down. So we'll see if he has anything over there. Matt also opting for that left side. Just fades out a little bit. Ooh, is this a good roll? Yeah. Not too bad. Maybe circle's edge putt for the birdie.
Yeah, it's definitely. This is one of the holes out in the course that's a bonus birdie, because a lot of the holes you kind of want to get to. Vinny trying to just get as far as he can. Was able to cut off a little bit, but unfortunately still has a pretty technical up shot. And yeah, this hole has teeth, whether it be the roll away or just the amount of real estate to cover.
And it happens so fast on hole 3, right? Like you said, it's Lucas long bid. Oh no, and yep, there's the roll away that you mentioned. That's kind of the danger though when you decide to give this hole a run, even though they have set up that wall now, there is always a chance of that roll away, and we'll see how far down the hill Lucas ended up.
Yeah, it looks like there's a ditch down there that he ended up in. So it seems like he's trying to do kind of like a staggered just jump putt just to give it somewhat of a chance. He's able to get up there, probably for the bogey.
This is where Travis's drive ended up, and he hands the uphill birdie look. Wow, what a putt. Start 3-3-3.
Could be a contender.
It could be. Let's see if Matt's able to match. Just inside the circle, able to connect. Wow, 2 birdies on hole 3 is not something you see every day. This one is, even though it's only 268, is a tough get for sure.
Yeah, especially the long tee pad off to the left. The short is pretty a straight shot, just kind of your straightest disc in the bag. But that left one, yeah, the gap is very tight. And with everything growing this time of year, it's not easy.
An awkward little putt here for Lucas, going to be a bogey tap in. Unfortunate after that roll away, but good job to clean it up and not let any more strokes leak.
Hole 4, par 4, 723 feet. Now this path on the left-hand side is out of bounds, so the idea here is to throw it as straight as you can. You just pass the short tee on the right to land somewhere around here, and then as soon as you kind of figure out what your most confident shot is, you can either go to the left-hand side or the right-hand side to approach the basket. Now the right-hand side is a lot more open, and this hole usually traditionally has a bunch of wind, usually a headwind, so it's pretty easy to kind of not choose the right stability off the tee.
Yeah, this is one of those holes that's tempting to try to get aggressive off the tee just because of how open it is, but you can get yourself into a lot of trouble if you try to bite off a little too much off the tee. Travis, nice safe hyzer. Probably bites him off about 350 to 380, so he'll probably be sitting in that mid 300 range into the basket. Matt's going with more of a straight shot. Complaining about something, but that'll work out just fine.
Yeah, kind of to go back on what you were saying earlier, you don't really have to get too aggressive on this hole. It is only 723 feet, and it does play downhill. So ideally, even if you only throw 300 off the tee, 300, probably another 300-foot shot, 350-foot shot just down the hill. As Lucas here is just kind of throwing a very simple hyzer, not biting off a lot, trying to get to the short tee. and then just probably throwing the same exact shot again.
Yeah, I like that play. Something slower. I think he went with like a fairway driver. Now with the lefty line, Vinny could get pretty aggressive here. Plenty of space out to the left for that big hyzer, but you want to make sure that you throw something that's going to fade back. This is going to be close, but looks like he finds the inbounds.
And then here we have Matt. So like I was mentioning before, it's like a bigger hyzer gap. Now that left-hand side, there is a gap, but now that the one tree is kind of getting bigger and more matured, it's hanging over, so that line isn't necessarily there. So Matt here was trying to throw a nice low shot to get a little bit of a skip, just unfortunately a little too low, and the grass just ate it up.
Yeah, you're probably not going to get a lot of ground play today, given it's a pretty humid summer day. Grass is going to be pretty grabby. Lucas, this looks really nice. Yeah, but again, not a lot of ground play. Comes up short. That's probably just outside the circle near that big tree. Still a good shot, though.
Yeah, Travis here looks like he's close enough to throw a putter. Something nice and straight, a little bit of pop-up, and a lot of glide. Probably about the same as Lucas, actually probably a little bit farther back. So it's going to be, long stabs at it, but still, after he made a putt on the last hole, we'll see.
Pretty big drive there from Vinny to get all the way down into the flat. His upshot leaks a little long. He was taking that left side gap that you mentioned. But we'll definitely have probably the closest birdie putt of the group. Here's Matt with a long look. Catches that late tree. That tree's about 20 feet from the basket, so still have a tester for his par.
And Travis here, circle 2, and
Oh, he cans another one. That's got to be like a 60-footer and kind of a death putt too. Downhill, slopes away from the basket. Wow, Travis just coming out on a heater today. 4 down through 4. Maybe a little bit of a big putt there as Lucas leaves his birdie putt short.
yeah, it's definitely mental because right behind the basket's pretty downhill. It's not like it's going to go too far, but it's enough to just mentally drain you to, kind of get your attention off as Matt makes a great putt. Not making a great upshot, but very nice par save.
Just a bit off to the right there from Vinny. Had a really nice upshot, but I believe that is an OB line that's long of the basket that was added for this tournament. So that is going to be a bogey for him, and Lucas will have to settle for the par.
Hole 5, par 3, 244 feet. Essentially dealer's choice. You can throw left, you can throw right, you can throw straight. You just have to make sure you get the power and then get the height. But pretty straightforward hole.
Yeah, it's just right there. Distance control is the key. Travis leaks this one a little wide, but that's pretty favorable reaction off that tree. You oftentimes will see that tree just grab the disc, throw it down into the hill, and you'll see rollaways of like upwards of 100 feet if you get an unlucky break. So definitely want to make sure you're fading in front of it, if anything.
Yeah, it's definitely a touchy distance shot because off the right, like you said, you could bank off the tree, roll down the hill, or if you go short, you're in that little ditch where it's the foundation of this. I think it's used to be a house or a barn.
I call it a castle, but I don't think there's many castles in central Pennsylvania, but this looks like a nice line from Lucas. Leaking out a little left, but this is kind of a common landing zone, right? Give yourself that 20, 25 footer. Kind of a scary putt, but the fattest part of the green.
Yeah, join Matt over there. Both of them should be inside the circle putts.
Ooh, is this a grenade?
Yeah, here we go. This is what the world wants to see. Unlucky reaction off the ground. That's the one bad part about playing the grenade. Once it lands, it almost just wants to bounce if the ground is hard.
Yeah, kind of leaks out to the left. Let's see if Travis can keep the hot putt alive, and he does. Top shelf. 5 down through 5 start for the course designer. And yeah, Vinny just not going to mess with that putt. 60-footer, nothing behind. wise move to lay it up, but I think Matt's a little too close. He's going to have to give this one a bid.
Great putt. That's a great confidence boost because, like you were saying, if you miss it left or right, don't get any contact. It's down the hill probably at least 60 feet. There's nothing to catch it.
Yeah, great putt, great confident putt. Let's see if Lucas can kind of bounce back after that missed putt on the last hole here. Around the same distance, maybe slightly closer.
Yeah, nice Lucas.
Yeah, that's well done right there. Good commitment on the height.
It was excellent. There wasn't really anything in his way on that time. It seemed like maybe the hole before there was like that tree in the way, but they're wide open. Stick to the routine. Hole 6, par 5, 853 feet. So you have to hit a gap initially, and there's OB on the right and OB on the left. The first shot favors the big forehand or the backhand dead straight for right-handed players. And then on the second and third shots, just bite off as much as you can, but stay within the ropes.
So I have seen Travis eagle this hole before in a league night. Let's see how aggressive he wants to get here. Off the tee. Going for the backhand turnover line. This looks really nice. It just can't fade out too much. Yeah, that's going to be in a great spot.
Yeah, very nice. And then from there, it's just, yeah, just keep it in the middle. So this is one of the holes where stay in bounds, and most likely you'll give yourself a really good opportunity for birdie.
Yeah, you can't really bite too much off the tee here. Matt, he is going to try to prove me wrong, though. Going with the roller. Grass is pretty thick, so not going to get too much distance, but puts him right in the middle. That'll be a great shot. But yeah, like I was saying, you can't really bite off too much off the tee because of, again, there's this small gap, kind of a low ceiling. You really want the disc to get as right as possible rather than actually pushing straight. This is in danger of going OB long if Lucas isn't careful. Looks like it just barely stays in, but that'll be very close.
And then here we have Vinny trying to do the same type of shot. Unfortunate clip off the branch, but stays in bounds, so birdie's still intact. It's just going to be a little bit farther than he wants, but seems like he has the power to get there.
Oh yeah, definitely has the power. I mean, I think that might have been a good tree. That just looked like it was flipping up, and if that flipped all the way over, that was definitely going OB long. So keeps him in the fairway. That's a nice shot just to bite off, you know, another 350 feet or so up this hill. Like you said, as long as you're in the fairway, you're going to have probably less than 300 feet into the green. So a very, very birdieable hole.
Exactly. I mean, for being a par 5, 300 feet, and then less than 300 feet. So a lot of people can score on this hole, but it just can get in your head for not staying in bounds, and then you're forced to kind of push.
So out of bounds again. Sounds like Lucas's drive was OB. That drive going to leak left out of bounds, so he's going to be throwing 5 from there, hoping to save a bogey.
Traps in a really good spot. Seems like he's just kind of playing a little conservative. You know, just nice and low. Didn't bite off as much as he probably wanted off the tee. So just trying to put himself in a really good position. Throw a nice putter upshot. Part of the easy birdie.
Yeah, this upshot can be a little bit tricky, especially because there's kind of a false front to this green. Since it is still uphill going into the basket, you'll see a lot of, is Travis just running that? You'll see a lot of players come up like 50 short and, you know, thinking they're parked just because it's a bit deceptive. So you definitely want to make sure you give it enough on this upshot.
There's Matt throwing it maybe a little long and wide, but seems like he's within the circle, so should be a good opportunity. And like you were saying, that upshot is pretty tricky. At first, there never used to be really markers to kind of figure out what your distance would be and how far away you were from the basket. These little trees here that are growing, as Vinny throws a great shot, bullseye. Now that you have some sort of markers, you kind of gauge how far you need to throw.
So here's Lucas after going out of bounds on his second, well, technically third shot. Nice upshot there. Should leave him a short putt for the bogey, but again, this is one of those holes you do not want to be leaking strokes on because it really is right there in front of you. Here's Matt again from that circle's edge distance. He's had a bunch of those today. Just leaves it a little bit short. Maybe a little frustration there on that putt from Lucas. The basket didn't like it, but does stick.
Sit in. It's one of those things where, not a great hole. Every once in a while you get a little bit of aggression. Hole 7, par 4, 696 feet. Off the tee, I kind of just want to land somewhere in this area right now where the drone is. If you want to get lucky, test these 2 trees coming in, and then, dealer's choice on whatever your upshot is. There is a little slope on the back side of the basket, so you do have to watch the distance there. But here, if you chop it into 2 shots, it's a very routine hole. Some people might want to get aggressive, kind of throwing the big hyzer to try to fight the trees on the inside, but you really don't need to.
Looks nice from Travis. Just nice and straight shot with the driver. Like you said, lands kind of near that first gap where the OB starts to pinch in, but should have a pretty straightforward forehand or straight putter in from there, probably less than 300 feet into the pin.
Here we have Vinny, power sidearm. Kind of gets to stand up a little bit, but he probably wanted a little more stand up on his shot. It's going to be pretty close to that wood line, so we'll have to see if he has an opportunity or a gap to kind of get up and down for birdie.
Yeah, that's really obviously you could go OB on the right-hand side, but other than that, the only real mistake you can make on this hole is kind of leaving it a bit short, which can pinch off your second shot if you're not careful. That tree line does line the whole left side of the fairway, so you can get into trouble if you come up short left. Lucas, I think he's going to look to, speaking of getting aggressive,
That's kind of large.
Go with a huge hyzer.
That is large.
It seems like he likes it,
In short and large.
and I understand why.
Wow.
Not too bad. It's kind of in the perfect spot. It seemed like it was right in the center of the gap.
Yeah, pretty much perfect. Probably have 250 in from there. Matt's lining up another roller here.
No. So good.
Yeah, he took the words out of my mouth. It is not going to get a lot of action on the ground here this time of year with just that thick, humid grass. Travis opting for the sidearm play. Nicely done. Puts that inside the circle. He'll have a birdie putt coming up.
And then Vinny here, wide open hyzer. But again, that distance is pretty tough. Seems like got a little high out of his hand. So it's going to be right-hand side, maybe edge circle 1, just in circle 2. So definitely one to kind of get a lot closer on that one.
Yeah, this is another tricky kind of false front green, right, where you can't really see the base of the basket. So a lot of players, is Lucas kind of giving that a run? A lot of players are going to leave this one short or go a little deep. You definitely don't want to go deep on this one because it does slope downhill after the basket. So another upshot where distance control really is important. Oh my gosh, Matt is just all over the basket from deep, but hasn't been able to get one to fall yet.
It seems like his putter's on line. It's just the higher, lower. Just so close. And Vinny here from probably about 40 feet. Just a little high. Everybody's all over it today.
Yeah, a lot of metal. Here's Lucas now. A little long after running that upshot. 22 feet, we'll call it. Oh, man. You wonder if the near spit out on the last hole maybe got in his head a little bit. Didn't quite commit to that one. Sure he'll want that back. Travis to go 7 for 7.
great. That's a great start out here. A bunch of birdies you want to get, but then also a bunch of bonus birdies. And yeah, I mean, it seems like it's really hot out here, so that heat could definitely be playing a factor as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think the back nine is probably the more scoreable nine on the gold layout. So to be able to get these birdies early is really going to set him up for a good position in this round and this tournament.
Hole 8, par 3, 358 feet. So the natural grade of the hill is right to left, kind of sloping downward. So most of the time, people will throw the high hyzer that will kind of be diving into the basket here. But then as it's diving into the basket, you do have to watch out for the flare skips through the trees. But once in a while, you might get lucky and it banks off one of those trees, stops right next to the basket, and it's perfect. So there's a little bit of a goalkeeper to kind of stop it, but you know, you just have to make sure you get the distance to get there first.
Yeah, it's a blind shot, so you just got to put it out wide, kind of trust the disc, trust the distance. Travis, he's played this course 100 times, probably more, and he knows this hole well, and that is a really great shot.
And Vinny here, looks like he's throwing something a little slower. Maybe like a mid? Just a little low. The grass just won't let it get any action off the ground. So most likely a par. Being a lefty putt, it's going to be hard to kind of give the basket a scare for its birdie.
Matt going with a little more direct line, kind of that hyzer flip. Going straight at it, gets a little ground play. Oh yeah, that is money. Absolutely parked.
It's perfect. Yeah, like you said, that hyzer flip is so much better than throwing the straight hyzer, because then as it's hitting the ground, it doesn't have as much angle coming in. So it's just going to kind of hit the ground and kind of skid straight. Now Lucas here, you're throwing the big hyzer. Once in a while, it does get a pretty big ground play. Kind of like what we saw there. It was a pretty big skip, but it was definitely a fortunate skip to kind of get through the trees. Now he just has to maneuver a couple to kind of get there.
Yeah, that kind of a bit of a downhill bid there for Vinny. Lucas might have that backside tree that we're seeing right now to deal with. See if he is able to swing it around. Yeah, I bet he can only see part of the basket from here.
Not too many straddle putts today, but perfect. Great confidence booster.
Yeah, nicely done there. Have a couple of cleanups for the rest of the card.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those ones that feels like a must get, but when you're looking back at the hole, I mean, 358 feet, like you said, kind of blind coming down. It's really not easy. It kind of escape you real quick if you're not on the right side of the green.
Travis, not a bonus birdie for him. 8 for 8. Let's see if he can keep it going into hole 9 for a perfect front 9. That would be something.
Hole 9, par 4, 486 feet. You have to navigate through this gap. It's a pretty low ceiling with those branches hanging over and the tall grass. So there's not too many ways to make sure you get that 486 feet because it is slightly uphill with the low ceiling. Now, there is no OB, but it's natural OB on the right, almost natural OB on the left. So most people just chip it into 2, try to get 300 foot down the fairway, and then have a pretty routine upshot, kind of like a left to right finishing shot.
Yeah, great play.
Yeah, actually, I should mention they did add OB on the left side of this hole last year to prevent that just pitching out into hole 13's fairway and then just going big spike hyzer into the green. So there is some OB. It shouldn't come into play if you go with the forehand, but if you do get aggressive with a backhand off the tee, it can come into play. This shot's nice and safe, though. Not going to fade out there from that. Puts him in the fairway. Should be in a good spot.
Kind of happy they put that OB there. I never thought of that. Just breaking the hole.
Yeah, Lucas, this is a little low. I think he catches the left side. I mean, that's still in birdie range, though, depending on where it kicked to. Probably has over 300 feet in, but still very doable for Lucas. Vinny could get aggressive here and maybe give himself a long look depending on... just catches some limbs though. Still a great shot though.
Yeah, definitely have the power. Probably be within 150 feet. And then Lucas here throwing, unfortunately, pretty low. Probably banking off one of those trees, kicking left. He does have the standstill power to get there with the sidearm.
Yeah, just a little nose up, a little high. Fades out early. I mean, should be still a pretty straightforward par, but Lucas knows that this is one of those holes you wanna pick up on this course. Matt gonna opt for the roller coming into this green. I like the play with this side hill. The only thing is just gonna need that just to stop. Goes a little long, but have another price circle's edge just outside look.
Matt really doesn't like forehands. Something about him.
Oh no. Routine upshot there from Travis, just yanks it. Might be stuck in the tree. We'll see when we get up there. But I'm sure he's going to be kicking himself after the 8 for 8 start.
And Vinny here just throwing a nice soft backhand. Maybe a glitch sighting. Just nice and soft, just floaty shot right up there. And Lucas, yeah, just accepting a par. It's kind of out of position with the green kind of sloping down the hill. And oh,
A while ago, I was playing this on my.
Looks like Travis was stuck in the tree, so he's going to be left with this 60-footer to keep the perfect round alive. Just a bit left, leaks out. He's able to catch that though. Still, 8 for 9 is a great start on this course. Matt now just outside the circle for his birdie.
Yes.
Ooh.
Did that go through? Did it go through? No, it went
Just barely over the rim.
That was wild.
I don't know how it went over.
that was a great putt by Matt. Let's see what Travis can do here. Oh, he's right. Not too far away. But definitely a nice par. And like you were saying earlier, 8 down through the front 9. That's a great start to the Norse God Championships.
Yeah, I mean, plenty of golf left, obviously, but yeah, you love to get off to a hot start in a tournament like this. Shiprock, obviously, a very scoreable course for these guys. So looking to come out, get around in the double digits, and set yourself up good for the rest of the event.
Down, like, behind the tree and I couldn't see it or something.
As we take another look at that great Travis Dombach putt. On hole 3, we would like to thank our supporting sponsors, the Norse Gods, as well as the Patreon family, for making this coverage possible. That was the front 9. We got the back 9 coming right up. Make sure to subscribe, and we'll catch you over there for the back 9 of round 1 of the 2023 Norse Gods Championship.